New splitter day, it's exciting. So after about 8 hours round trip, here is my new Wolfe Ridge splitter, picked up from Faith Farm and Equipment down in Salisbury, North Carolina, one of the few Wolfe Ridge splitter dealers in the area. Not even really in the area because it's 4 hours away. Not that they have that many dealers at all, but fortunately there's one within driving distance. They were able to get me this splitter, and I actually only took about 3.5 weeks for it to come in. They already had a truckload of splitters on order from them, and a couple units from that order were unaccounted for. I actually wanted a couple features that were different than what they had already allotted on their order, and they were able to call Chris at Wolfe Ridge and get exactly what I wanted built for their order within 3 weeks. So that's pretty sweet. Obviously this needs to come off the trailer. I do want to use it today. I do have time. So I'm going to get moving on unloading this thing, and then I'll give you the walk around. We'll fire it up and we'll put some wood through it. Here's what transpired in the last couple minutes. I thought I was just going to put the 2-inch ball on the front, on the receiver on the front of the tractor there, and pull the log splitter off. The issue with that is the only 2-inch receiver hitch I have here is the one that was on my truck. So I had to disconnect the trailer from the front of the truck, which means when I go to pull this back, the tongue of the trailer is going to fly up in the air. So I did have a couple jack stands here, so I've got those under the back of the trailer. I think this will work fine and keep all the equipment and everything safe. I had contemplated just dragging the log splitter out with a chain or a strap, or using the grapple or something like that while the trailer was still hooked up to the truck. I think though those presented different kinds of risks. I think this is probably the best option. Hopefully it works. I've got a couple things on here that need to come off before we can use it. Now these here are extra slides. The hydraulic ram has these pieces in there, and they will wear out over time, and this is what protects the beam from getting worn over time. So they give you an extra set out the gate, and then whenever you need more, you can get more from Wolfe Ridge. We have both the 4-way and the 6-way wedge. Probably start out today with the 4-way. Actually, I got a lot of smaller stuff here. Why don't we start out today with a 6-way? Why not? Removing the retaining pin, and then this. Well, I'm probably gonna have to turn this on because that's down too tight. All right, we'll do that in a minute. New piece of equipment, not without issues. I'm sure the issues will get rectified, and I'm trying not to be disappointed, but I'm a little disappointed. Let's be serious. You buy a machine for $10,000, you drive it 4 hours away, you think it's going to get looked over and make sure everything works the way it's supposed to work. We did run this at the dealer. I didn't really fully check every single function, especially, well, it's really just one thing. So the auto return, it goes out, it does not come back. And then if you just use the one split lever, when it goes back, it does not kick out of the return stroke. So there's something wrong with the way that this lever is set, and I don't know how to adjust it. The other thing is that the 6-way wedge, the hole doesn't line up with the post where it's supposed to attach. So I'm going to call the dealer now and see what they want to do about it. I'll update you guys in a few minutes. Alright, we got some good news and some bad news. Good news is there's 2 pages in the manual about adjusting the splitter detent valve, and then one for adjusting the splitter auto cycle valve. Unfortunately, the auto cycle valve in this picture and the description that it uses is different than this valve. Apparently, Wolfe has had some trouble getting the exact the exact valves that they've always used. So we have one here. It's a little bit different. I think the detent adjust is going to be here on the back, but I've got to call the dealer anyway about that wedge, and I'll ask them about the valve at the same time and see if they can help me out.
This is Nicole. Can I help you?
Hey Nicole, this is Phil Woods. I was there this morning picking up that splitter.
Yes, sir.
I got a couple little problems I'm looking to get some help with.
Okay, what you got?
Well, the first thing is the 6-way wedge does not fit on the rod. The holes don't line up because there's a big blob of welding material up inside. Yeah, so I don't know what you want to do about that. I don't have anything that'll reach down in there. I already tried like a chisel and something else, and it just didn't work.
Okay, and it's up in the part that like the wedge lift fits up into.
Correct. Yeah,
And the pin.
the tube, yeah. Yeah, so
Okay.
because of that 1/4 of an inch of extra weld material in there, the hole won't line up.
Okay. I'll reach out to Chris. He'll probably just ship you one.
Okay.
That's sure.
All right. The other thing is that the auto return doesn't work. It's like the pressure is way out of whack on the auto return valve, and the manual has instructions for Prince valves, but I don't think Chris could get Prince valves. This one's a little different, and I'm not exactly sure how to adjust it.
Okay. That one should be a Galtech. And let me grab Kelvin. He's our technician. I can have him kind of walk through that with you.
That'll work, yeah.
Any other questions on it?
No, that's it.
For
That is it.
him? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, hold on just a minute.
This is Kelvin. Are you the guy with the wood splitter
Yes,
valve
sir.
problem?
Yes, sir.
Which handle is it that's not wanting to trip out? Is it the inboard one or the outboard one?
I'm not sure. I know what that means. So on the auto return valve, there's 2 levers. One has split and retract, and one has just retract.
Okay.
The one that's just retract seems to be working just fine. It'll retract and it'll kick out when it gets to the end of its stroke. The other one won't kick out in either direction.
All right. What? I tried calling the guy about those valves nearly 2 weeks ago, and asked some questions, and he didn't ever call me back.
Okay.
But what I figured out last week when I was trying to set up those splitters, if you take that knob off the back of the valve, it's that round piece that's got 6 flats on it.
Yeah.
It'll just unscrew off the valve, the one that's giving the problem.
Yeah.
I think what you need to do is loosen. You know, it's got once you get in there, it'll have a nut locking a set screw.
Okay.
I think what you'll need to do is loosen the nut and back the set screw out a little bit. Don't know how much till it trips off.
Okay.
You got to crank it up and run it.
Yeah.
I didn't have any problems with oil leaking out there while I was trying to adjust it, so
Okay.
I don't think you will either.
That was going to be my next question, if I could run it with that silver cap off.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was running with the silver cap off the other day when I was trying to set them up.
Okay.
I had 3 or 4 of them that wouldn't work. One thing I did figure out, on some of them I had turned the silver, there's a little silver disc just inboard of the nut. I'd actually turned those. I'm not really sure you're supposed to turn those at this point. If it's backed off any, you see a gap between it and the rest of the valve, turn it back towards the valve and then start adjusting with the set screw.
Okay. All right.
And
so
hopefully that'll get you going.
Yeah.
If not, call us back and we'll see what we can do.
Okay, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. So we'll get the auto cycle valve thing figured out. I actually don't have a wrench here big enough to loosen up these caps that are on the back, which is where we think the adjustment for that is. So I will need to tend to that another day. I am going to use this some more today, and I'm just going to not use the auto cycle, which is a disappointment because that's a very expensive add-on that this splitter has that if I didn't want it, I wouldn't have paid for it. So that is one thing I'm really looking forward to get fixed. I'll keep you guys posted on what the response is from my dealer or from Wolfe or from both, and keep you updated on how we get that straightened out. But the rest of the splitter is doing exactly what we wanted to do. All these small rounds that I put through it so far, obviously piece of cake for it. There were actually 3 different types of wood in there. There was some elm, there was some oak, which was actually standing dead, so it was almost all the way dry out already. And there was, did I say maple, elm, oak were the 3 that we put through it. So let me give you kind of the rundown of this splitter, its features and all that. This model of splitter is the 28C, or the Pro 28C as it says there. On the Wolfe website, you'll see this labeled as a compact commercial machine. It's going to be towable from either end. You saw me tow it from that end when I took it off the trailer. There is a stabilizer block on the back here, and that can be removed, and the tongue can go in that end, and we can move it around either way, which I think will be really handy because I'll end up using it in a bunch of different configurations here in my little wood yard. So being able to just push it around with the tractor, pull it around with the tractor is going to be really, really nice. So this one does have the auto valve, which would be nice if it worked. It doesn't right now. It has the Magnum package, they call it, which gets you a bigger bore and a larger push block, and it also gets you faster cycle time because I think they put something back here called a dump valve, which might be that thing right there. I don't actually know all the parts or how it works, but I think that's how it works. And I think that was it, right? And then I got the 6-way wedge as the other add-on. So that 6-way wedge was a little bit disappointing because I wanted to use it today. I probably could still use it without attaching it to the push rod, but we're not gonna push it too much. We're gonna try to get this thing all squared away, all straightened out, working the way it's supposed to work, and then we'll really test it out. I did not opt for electric start, so this Honda GX390 has a pull start. I found these small Hondas are pretty easy to start anyway. It's not really cold right now, so cold weather will really be the test. It's about 50 degrees today. So today at least it was super easy to start, no complaints. And I think that is all of the features. Obviously it has the log lift on it, which is one of the big reasons I wanted to get this splitter. I knew my next splitter had to have a log lift because I'm just getting tired of constantly lifting rounds, and being able to stack them up there like I did today adds a lot to productivity. And then I've got just, you know, a few rounds that are just huge, and there's no way I'd be able to pick those up and get them on the splitter. And what I used to do with big rounds like that is I would stand my old splitter up, break them up with the splitter in vertical mode, and then once I had pieces I could actually pick up, I would tilt the splitter back down and do everything up in horizontal mode. Anyway, the log lift eliminates all of that, and we can just hopefully be a lot more productive. So all those things, plus the 4-way, 6-way wedge, we should be able to crank out a lot more wood. So there you have it, guys. I will keep you posted on future videos on how this thing shakes out with the couple little issues that I'm having. I'm not disappointed. I am still excited this splitter is here. I'm still going to put it to use. We'll get the kinks worked out, and everything will work out just fine. So if you got any questions or comments, obviously leave those below. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.